us. The weather, it's something that affects us all every day, from sunny to severe and anything in between. This is why we first alert.
Trust meteorologist Emily Acton for your first alert. Trust meteorologist Chris Still for your first alert.
Parker's Kitchen is proud to partner with Wrdw to help empower veterans and their families. When you round up at Parker's, we'll make sure to match 25% of your donation to support local veterans.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 1226 this morning.
A peek ahead into your morning, learn about the influx of the unhoused during Gold Week. South Carolina is looking to make kinship care more accessible. And your Riley Hale spent the day at Graves Mountain. All that and more in just a moment, but first, we're going to take a live look over at Olive Garden this morning. Actually, there's not a long wait early this morning. But anyway, good morning. I'm Audrey Dicker. We're so glad that you're joining us this morning, and maybe you're going to be heading over to Olive Garden later, Chris. If the weather's nice enough, maybe they'll want to be waiting outside.
Lines are short. I hear their breakfast is great.
Hey, I don't have time for breakfast. I love pasta any time of day.
You know who else is having breakfast this morning?
Who?
Looks like Milo behind me, the German Shepherd featured in the dog walk forecast. Getting his little pup cup perhaps on a Saturday. Should be a good day for that kind of thing. It's going to be very warm. A little windy later on today. We'll have some wind gusts up around 25 miles per hour, but that's about Wednesday. We'll have more details on that rain headed our way in your full forecast in just a bit.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And we're learning more about an incident that hits close to home for many. 31-year-old Tyrone Gaynor is accused of filming women at Diamonds Lake Park and getting, quote, uncomfortably close to them. He's charged with misdemeanor stalking, and your city HUD looked into this case that the sheriff's office says basically started with social media posts about Gaynor.
This incident report from March 5th says someone with Richmond County Parks and Recreation told deputies they received multiple complaints about a black male wearing a black do-rag and black shirt. According to the worker, the person was videoing and approaching women while they exercise on the walking track. Deputies were able to match the description and photo to Tyrone Gaynor. Gaynor told deputies he visits Diamond Lakes Park daily to walk or play basketball. After talking with Gaynor, deputies eventually arrested and charged him with misdemeanor stalking. According to Georgia law, stalking occurs when someone follows or contacts another person without the other person's consent with the purpose of harassing or intimidating.
And we've asked the sheriff's office about this case with some questions about how this turned into an arrest and if there has been issues in the past. Now, we haven't heard back from them yet, but in an earlier statement to us, they say to maintain situational awareness, leave any area where you see any suspicious activity, and call 911 immediately. And in a month, tourists will be flocking to Augusta from across the world. Thousands of visitors all needing places to eat, sleep, and shop. But shelters are preparing for locals who also need a place to eat and sleep. For years now, people who've been living full time in motels have found themselves out on the streets. It's a complicated issue with no real solutions in recent years. And as your Hallie Turner reports, there are concerns that there simply won't be enough room for our shelters to house everyone that needs help.
Yeah, this is not a new problem, but it's one without a quick fix. And for now, it's all leaders say they can do to prepare, and the needs list that they have is growing outside of the things they can provide.
When it comes to tournament week, the foot traffic goes beyond Washington Road.
Good morning to everyone. Happy Wednesday.
And lands here.
Bless food for today
At the Master's Table Soup Kitchen.
Master's Week is a very strong week for us. We are feeding people that have jobs, that are trying to work and provide for their family. And during that week, some of them live in hotels because they lost their place from Helene, maybe.
It requires all hands on deck to make a difference.
We're always preparing down here. We prepare for 400 to 600 daily because we never know what our number's going to be.
With hotels making room for tournament guests by kicking others out, open seats are rare.
During the Masters, there is an increase. A lot of people that are homeless, that lives up off of Washington Road, would then be pushed more downtown. Last year, we did 2,156 trays just in those 7 days.
And the stacks of yellow trays are expected to grow.
This year, I expect the numbers to be more than 2,000. I think that this year we're going to probably do about in the 3,000 range, close to 3,000 trays.
And long-term hotel guests are on the hunt for a new place to call home, a need Dolman says she can't fill.
A lot of the guests need like tents. They need blankets. They'll ask me for warmers or either cots. These are things that we don't provide because we only provide a meal.
She's calling on you for help.
It's definitely a need for the public to even say, hey, can we offer you like 50 tents, or can we come down and give you some blankets?
Again, it's a complicated need without a long-term solution. So if you would like to donate tents, cots, blankets, and more, we'll have that link on our website that you can donate to at wrdw.com.
And we also spoke to the Salvation Army, who says they're trying to help too. They expect to hit full capacity by the end of the month. The plan is set out as many cots as they can. And President Trump addressing the death when someone takes in a child to whom they're related to or with whom they have a significant relationship. That's called kinship care. The state of South Carolina promotes this type of care in the foster system, saying it's more stable for the child and can reduce trauma. State House reporter Mary Green explains what can be done to make it an option for more kids.
Under current state law, a kinship caregiver who wants to receive the same assistance as other foster parents must also receive the same license from the state as them. A bill moving forward in the state Senate would establish a new licensure option for kinship homes.
When we talk about kinship care, we are trying to minimize the effects, minimize trauma, and try to keep children with like-minded individuals that they know that they have a relationship with.
This bill would make kinship care more available by lowering the age of eligible caregivers from 21 to 18. It would also remove some requirements foster parents have to meet that supporters say don't directly benefit child safety and well-being, like undergoing quarterly regulatory visits and meeting state fire marshal regulations. Licensed kinship foster parents receive the benefits and services that other foster parents get, including case management support and monthly payments. One kinship caregiver says this help is essential.
Our children deserve the chance, when they're in a traumatic situation, removed from the home for good cause, to be placed in an environment that's safe, and the only thing that caregiver has to worry about is loving and healing towards their trauma.
Changes at the federal level in September 2023 allowed states to create this separate license for kinship caregivers. The Department of Social Services says 8 other states have done it so far. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
The General Assembly has enacted various changes in law to recent years to promote kinship care, and data shows they've been effective. 2019, less than 10% of kids in South Carolina's foster care system were placed with kin. Now that's grown to nearly 30%. And David Birdsong announcing his run for the Columbia County Commission District 4 race. Birdsong says he will run for that seat, and that will open in 2026. Austin Couch is the current commissioner for District 4. The Republican primary is in May of 2026. And current Columbia Commissioner Allison Couch spoke with us about her decision to run for chair of commission this week.
I just look forward to continuing the excellence that Columbia County has had in the past years and with past commissions, and look forward to bringing a little bit of new vision to the table as well.
Current Chairman Doug Duncan's term ends in 2026.
It's going to be a very warm start to the weekend. High temperatures today well into the 70s, but big changes are on the way for the second half of the weekend. That could mean cooler and wetter weather for your Sunday. We'll have the details on your weekend forecast when we come back.
And looking for something to do? Well, here's a few events that are happening. Take a look, and we'll be right back.
Moving backwards, 53 the high temperature tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thanks, Chris. And Lincoln County is the place to be today and tomorrow. One of 2 annual rock swaps and digs will take place in the next few days at Graves Mountain. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale takes us there.
Graves Mountain, the tallest peak in the CSRA and the best spot in the world to find root teal.
And there's only one other place in the world that creates root teal like this, in this crystalline form, and that's in China, and it's nowhere near the same quality. You can find it up here.
Jewelry maker Tiffany & Company mined rutile here at Graves Mountain from the 1920s to the 1980s.
The Queen of England actually has a piece of rutile from here and one of her many crowns.
Luckily, these days you don't have to be royalty to get Lincoln County rutile. You have your opportunity to find rutile and over 40 other types of minerals at the Spring Rock Swap and Dig this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Graves Mountain.
There was an 8-year-old kid that found the biggest piece ever recorded, and he turned down $20,000 the day he found it.
The gate opens at 8 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m. Make sure to get there early because these digs usually attract over 1,500 people from across the world.
Surprisingly, it's not many local people. There's a lot of people that drive hours and hours to get here. We've had people from Canada, China, really all over.
It's like nature's glitter here, because you've got all the rainbow hematite and you've got all the sparkles and everything. You get nature's glitter all over you. If you're not covered in nature's glitter by the end of the day, you didn't have a good time. No.
It's free to attend the dig, but they do accept donations. At Graves Mountain, Riley Hale on your side.
And the daylight saving time debate is back. Tomorrow we lose an hour of sleep as the clock jumps forward, and for years, doctors have said this impacts our bodies. For years, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine has advocated for an end to daylight saving time, and the physician executive for the sleep medicine at MUSC agrees.
The bottom line is daylight savings time is not the way to go. We should probably remain on standard time throughout the year. That will be healthier for the population as a whole.
The daylight saving time transition has existed in its current form since 1966. However, President Donald Trump vowed late last year to eradicate daylight saving time, calling it costly and inconvenient. And the family behind Austin's law is launching a new foundation. This after lawmakers in the Georgia State Senate passed the fentanyl eradication bill. The bill increases penalties for those involved in the distribution of the deadly drug. The launch of Austin's Promise is dedicated to raising awareness about the dangers of fentanyl, supporting families affected by it, and working with lawmakers to prevent similar tragedies from happening to others.
Our decision was we're wanting to make Austin's legacy something that not only he would be proud of, but something that Georgians can use to fight this poison.
And the Walters say their work to save lives and bring justice to families is not done yet. Meanwhile, after passing the state Senate, it now heads to the state House. Also included in the budget, $50 million for school safety and a $1 billion refund for taxpayers. Some bills passed on crossover day include an income tax cut giving the state a flat 5.9% income tax rate, a bill banning transgender girls and women from playing girls and women's sports, and a gun tax break that would grant an 11-day sales tax holiday on guns. Some bills that did not pass include the sports betting bill, a bill requiring people to secure guns from children, and a state school superintendent bill deciding if the superintendent should become an appointed position after 2030. In another move to downsize the federal government, a handful of Social Security Administration offices in Georgia are set to be
Dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to...
Everybody has a reason to walk at the American Heart Association CSRA Heart Walk.
To live a longer, healthier life.
To inspire our kids.
To save lives.
Join us at the CSRA Heart Walk on Friday, March 28th at SRP Park. Together we'll walk to fight heart disease and stroke one step at a time.
Register today. We'll see you there.
Register and donate today at csraheartwalk.org.
Welcome back. Well, right across America, we celebrated this weekend in Richmond County. Your first alert meteorologist, Chief Riley Hale, and Hannah Harding read to students at Pine Hill Middle School in Hephzibah. Commissioners Tony Lewis, Don Clark, and Francine Scott were also in attendance, along with Payne College students and representatives from different community organizations. There were over 50 readers in total. That's awesome that we had some of our own representation there to help and have fun with the kids, honestly. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, always a lot of fun to go out to the local schools. So,
For sure.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at your forecast for your Saturday.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 1226 this morning.
A A peek ahead into your morning, learn the fate of Wagner Fire. We're on your sideline with local basketball, and your team has an update on Home Safe. All that and more in just a moment, but first, we're going to take a live look at downtown Augusta this morning. Good morning, I'm Wrdw. We're so glad that you're joining us this morning, and it seems like we're already having a pretty good start to our day, Chris. I wasn't wearing a jacket when I came into work. It was a little chilly for that, though, but it seems like it's going to be a great rest of the day.
It is. If you're a fan of spring weather and you have spring fever, then today is not going to help cure that fever much. It will definitely feel like spring today if you're about to head out for your dog.
Thanks, Chris. And Aiken County Council putting a temporary pause on the future of Wagner Fire Department's contract until the next meeting. It comes after the fire chief and the majority of staff walked off the job last November. Since then, Town Council and Aiken City Council have voted to separate from the fire department. Your Kennedy Payne spoke with council members about the decision.
Tonight, people came out to show their support for the Wagner Fire Department, asking Aiken County Council to save District 16. If council votes to terminate their contract with the Wagner Fire Department, responsibilities would then be split up between New Holland, Couchton, Sally, and Hollow Creek fire crews, leaving 1 square mile to be covered by the Wagner Fire Department, which could mean longer response times and higher insurance rates for people. Phil Napier is the District 6 Aiken County Councilman, and he voted against tabling the decision.
They've got their ducks in a row. They've got nice equipment. They were moving forward, and I just don't see splitting up the district. A local fire department is basically the backbone to communities. And sure, some other department might come in and take over, but they won't have the heart in it like the local residents do.
Adrian Pilot is the Wagner interim fire chief, and he says going into the meeting, he was nervous about the outcome.
And that's what I was truly worried about tonight, that it was going to be a one-sided storm, and that tonight would be the last night that Wagner Fire Department had its 95 square mile coverage. Always I could have wished that tonight they would have voted in favor of giving us a contract, but at least they decided to table it.
Council says they have more questions they need answered before they make a decision, and Pilot says they're going to fully cooperate with every request that they have, because what's important is making sure they're able to continue serving their community. And a decision is expected to be made at the next county council meeting on March 18th.
And the Trump administration is planning to file veterans earn their benefit. High school boys basketball team winning its first state championship in 59 years. And we heard from the teacher on the victory.
It feels absolutely amazing. Our boys have worked so hard. Our coaches have worked so hard. They've earned this. And we're so glad that they get it. They've earned it. They have it. They are champions. And it warms our heart here at Butler High School to know that we have bred some champions. We love them.
Again, congratulations to them in Denmark a lot.
On your sideline, sponsored by Chandler Law Firm.
Arguably the biggest day in the history of North Augusta's basketball programs, the girls and the boys teams both fighting for a 4A state championship here in Florence, South Carolina. But only one team is walking out with a win and another heading back to the CSRA empty-handed.
Starting with the girls, Coach Al Young's team in a familiar spot in the playoffs against the Westside Rams. It was a struggle for both teams in the first half. North Augusta was looking for anything offensively as Kalia Hartwell added to the Rams' lead. The Yellow Jackets would steal the halftime lead away and then open the second half on a 20-6 run. Everyone getting involved on the journey to the top.
I am so proud of this football team. It's so important. We started off not knowing where we would be. Like I said, they persevered, went through the entire season to get to this point, and they certainly didn't disappoint me. I'm sure they didn't disappoint themselves.
Last year, Westside bounced North Augusta from the postseason. This year, these Lady Yellow Jackets would not be denied. North Augusta wins 50-39 over Westside, marking the program's 6th title in the last 9 years.
I feel great. I feel great that I helped my team. I was able to lead my team to a state championship. It feels good to be a leader, being a great leader that I am, to help me and my team be back where we used to be.
Coach Tony Harrell looking to join Coach Young with a first-place trophy. His squad came out firing in the first half against Lancaster, and then they went into the locker room with a 3-point lead. When both teams came back out, it became the Jordan Watford show for the Bruins, and all North Augusta could do was watch. watch. The Yellow Jackets trailed by 15 at one point in the fourth quarter. Duron Dunbar trying to get them back into contention, but it was just too much to overcome. North Augusta's boys team falls to Lancaster 68-55 in the state championship game.
Those two games bring an end to our local coverage for high school basketball here in South Carolina, but it wasn't the only game we had going on Friday afternoon. Your News 12 sports director Alyssa Lyons was in Macon, Georgia with the very latest.
The Washington Wilkes girls basketball team's final game of the season was a memorable one. Not because they're driving home as the Yay Division II state runner-ups, but because in 5 games of the postseason in GHSA Race to State, they've given hope to communities starving for a state championship.
I mean, we told them they had nothing to hold their heads down about.
Moments like these will tell you more stories than any banner will.
People come out just for them. Like, we have brought the community back together. This little basketball team have brought the community together.
Measuring more than the weight of any hardware.
It felt like I was in the WNBA. Like, it actually felt real. It's no better feeling than knowing that you have people that have your back.
In one season, they changed Washington Wilkes basketball.
I wish it was a bigger word than being proud. Just the determination, the fight within these girls. I've never seen anything like it.
They'll keep that 72-48 loss at the top of next season's to-do list because now they know what it takes.
You can't come out here and expect to win without doing the work. They never give up. They never give up. We've gone through so much adversity, but they have fought and fought and fought just to make it here. And they've seen it. They've been on this stage now. They're going to be back here next year, no doubt about it.
Well, the underdogs will be back here next season. You can go ahead and leave that moniker in Macon because they're going to be older, they're going to be wiser, and they're going to be the ones to watch out because of it. Reporting at Macon, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
Very nice day out there on your Friday, although it was cold yesterday morning. The temperature yesterday morning, 32 degrees. That was 10 degrees cooler than average for this day. But we're going to have a big warm-up for your Saturday, then more cool weather's on the way as well. All the details on your weekend forecast are coming up.
And looking for something to do? Well, here's an event that's happening today. Take a look, and we'll be right back.
You've been in a serious